Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Drop Temp Coffee Podcast. I'm your host, Tim, and
Carrie.
We're here talking to a good friend amongst us, Christian from Primo Coffee Roasting Equipment. Christian, thank you so much for making the time to be here. We appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
So, as is good tradition, I wanted to say thank you to our sponsors, which includes the man right in front of you, Primo Coffee Roasting Equipment, the home of the best coffee roasting equipment I've ever used.
Yes, sir.
We also want to say thank you to Kool-Aid Coffee. Machines are coming, y'all. Got to keep an eye on that. And boy, they're going to be awesome. And we want to say a quick thank you to Seattle Coffee Automation, who make the greatest bagging machine ever. Thank you very much. Anyway, Christian, thank you very much. And why don't you give us a little introduction, sir? We'd love to hear a little about you, please.
Yeah, all right. Well, what's going on, guys? My name's Christian. Represent Primo Roasting Equipment. We're based out of Southern California in Santa Ana, Orange County, to be precise. I'm the partner and CMO here at the company. My partner Brandon and I took over in what is it now? February of 2020. So going on 4.5 years of business now, and yeah, I mean, it's been great. Primo's been around 33 years. We were actually originally Primo users. We ended up buying and purchasing the last 30 kilo the previous owner, Dion, ever sold. And, the proposition, came upon us, and, he wanted out of the company. And, so we jumped in and, kind of bringing this puppy back to life. Redid all the machinery, changed all the designs, threw new tech in there, got everything you all listed, and just doing things the right way, making everything in house right here, made in America. Parts shipped next day, and yeah, putting out amazing roasters and meeting amazing people like yourselves. So
appreciate that. I want to say a quick shout out to you guys for saving us when we needed parts and getting them out to us in less than 24 hours. That's amazing. We are in Portland. That is about 1,400 miles between you and us. And thank you so much. We really did save my ass. Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. We do what we can on the parts side of things. We hear about some of the customer service things going on in the industry, and we do our best. We understand if your machine goes down that your business is taking a hit. If your business takes a hit, our business takes a hit, and that's not good for anybody.
No, for sure. I also wanted to add one of the things that I really love. I know that we have a slightly older model. We bought ours in at the tail end of 2021.
No.
Well,
yeah. I mean, a lot has changed and a lot has happened in the last 4.5 years since we've gotten involved.
Well,
the integrity of the machinery's maintained, stayed the same. Slight changes here and there, improved on some designs, obviously, but the integrity of the machinery and the quality of the materials still top notch. And
every day I look at Oscar, I think about how easy it was to actually get into one of these machines with you guys. And amazing. Exactly what I wanted. Couldn't be happier, really. That and the fact that the ownership group down there is super easy. One of the things that we ran into was cross training with other roasters. We actually do a lot of renting of our machine, and I must say that the general design is surprisingly easy to translate to, which I appreciate. But you've done some upgrades lately. Can we hear about them? What are you doing that's new, different, and unbelievable at Primo?
Yeah, so I mean, you got to give me a little bit of a refresher. I believe your machine has the VFD controls, right, on the airflow and the drum, or
No, they're
no?
completely set. Nope, no
Okay.
controls at all, which is okay. We do have a set 1, set 2. We also
Set 1, set 2.
Yeah, and then beam temp probe in the same place it's been. Those are the main things. but the digital
I mean,
readout's
that's all
great.
you need really to make some great coffee, man. I mean, obviously you guys know that. You guys are getting amazing awards left and right, it seems like, and putting out some amazing coffee out of your guys' co-op down there in Oregon. So,
Yeah,
congrats to you guys. You know what you're doing and have figured out how
yeah.
to run a Primo the way it should be. Primo, right?
Right, that's right.
Um, I'd say, I mean, some of the biggest updates and upgrades we've had are, I mean, we've improved the airflow design across the board. I believe on your machine you have a exhaust coming out of your hopper, making a direct
Mhm.
90-degree angle running along the side of the drum, and then
Yep.
connecting to the cyclone, the chaff collector. So we changed that design. Now it's directly on top of the hopper, going directly above the drum, which is just a straight shot, eliminating a 90-degree bend, which has greatly improved our airflow and our chaff collection.
Oh,
As
nice.
well, we've changed the design of the actual chaff collector itself. Yours would be a bit of a triangle type piece. Now it's an octagon. So it's actually a bit of a slimmer footprint, and the chaff collection is actually much greater due to the internal design of the actual collector itself. How essentially the vortex kind of works, and it pulls the chaff down below. Um, and due to obviously the exhaust running on top of the drum now and eliminating that 90-degree bend. Um, Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, hey, Carrie, I sense an upgrade.
Hey, we're gonna be
Yeah.
running a great Labor Day special here soon too. So
Hey,
let
well,
me know, Tim. You know I got your back.
yeah, appreciate that. Okay, so a couple of things. We are recording the week before, Friday before Labor Day, and looking forward to getting this episode out. Thank you, Jada. And so please keep in mind, these guys are very accessible and always have been. There's so much I want to ask you about the technical side of this, but I've got to tell you that the thing I genuinely love these days is a fully decked out kind of entry level machine at 3 and 5K. It's got
Hmm.
everything on it that you could possibly have. Can you go into a little bit about
Yeah.
particularly the one on the rollers? Yes, rollers,
Yep.
y'all.
Yep. Yeah. So that's our new. I'd call it almost our flagship model now. I think it's quickly become our most popular model due to, I mean, one being the price, two being the size. Obviously, those are a combination of things, but phenomenal machine. We've been rolling them out since last November, and yeah, I mean, just phenomenal little machines. We got the same standardized control panel on every size machine. So,
Wow.
whether you start on a Primo 3 kg and go to a 30 kg, you're going to have the same controls across the board, which is very unique in my opinion, and makes things a lot easier on the learning curve. The only difference then obviously is going to be your batch weight. But yeah, so standardized control panel. Those standardized controls, include adjustable drum speed, so you can do smaller batches by increasing your drum speed rotation. You have adjustable airflow controls, so you can really control the flame height and prolong those development times and do fun things like that, as well as increase your chaff collection towards the end of your roast by increasing your air speed. We have new digital temp controllers that are phenomenal. They give you the ability to manually open and close your gas valve if you purchase our roast profile automation package. Um, that allows you to open and close the valve digitally from a 0 to 100% basis. You can do that manually on the controller or plug into your software like Cropster or Artisan or whatever you're looking to use, and have a gas slider there as well. And then, I mean, the 3 and 5 kilo is just phenomenal little machines, just because of the size. To be honest with you, we've built brackets into these machines with built-in handlebars, so you can actually really move these things around and maneuver them very easily with three people. As well, you can buy a shop cart additionally, where the roaster and the cyclone fit on perfect. They bolt down to this little stand on wheels, and then you have a very portable machine. So we have a lot of people actually bringing these to farmers markets, events, things like that. A lot of people roasting out of their garage and other things, which is phenomenal because you can fly under the radar and you don't need any crazy ducting or permitting or anything like that. It's not a fixed appliance anymore. It's a mobile unit, and you can essentially roast outside with pretty much little to no ducting, which is phenomenal. So they can be set up with propane or natural gas. and they're just your standard 110 power. So they plug into any standard home outlet or generators. So
That's
it's a phenomenal machine though.
I'm going to replay that just for people who didn't catch it. That means you can get a machine on a rolling base
Yep.
that you can push outside on propane, so you don't have to worry about ducting, and it all fits in one. That's crazy. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, Carrie,
So
when
we're
you
just making
buying
it
one?
a little more accessible, for roasters. Difficult it is to get in the industry just because the cost of goods is getting so high. The equipment prices are, to be honest, they're drastic. That's why we're trying to do our best to meet the Chinese prices and produce quality equipment.
You
Yeah,
bring
definitely makes it easier.
up a good point. We see a lot of people considering Chinese roasters beforehand, but honestly, I was hoping for something that was American built, just because I like doing that, and always have. I've always preferred American made. You guys killed it. Honestly, the machine is great. It also benefits. Yeah, well, also benefits us that you can color match. Thank you. Yep, they set up a custom color for Oscar for us, which is why it's named Oscar. Carrie, I could take over all the time. Give me something. Ask some questions, will you?
Let's go.
What's going on, Carrie?
Well, I know, Tim, that you and Christian go way back, and obviously you own a Primo, so you were so excited for Christian to finally come on to the podcast and talk about all things Primo. So I wanted you to, ask away all the questions there. But, I have to say, I do remember that you wanted me to go down to Primo's headquarters and actually have me test the machine and to see whether it was worth it or not. And I remember I was kind of I wasn't sure. I didn't know much about Primo because I knew about the other big brands like Diedrich, Probat, and the other machines. I've never heard of Primo. So I was, kind of hesitant at first, but I actually met Brandon Miller, and Brandon is a great guy, super nice, has a lot of stories to tell. And it was really fabulous to come by Primo's headquarters. I saw your shop. I saw all the roasters that you guys were building. And I remember Brandon fired up a 30K Primo roaster, and he was showing me everything. He let me do a batch of coffee. And there was something about the Primo that really caught my eye. I think really the thing that really impressed me was definitely the infrared burners, and it was so beautiful. I love seeing the sight glass, Christian. Every time I look in and I see the infrared burners, it's like lava. I don't know. There's something that is like hypnotizing about seeing that. Um, it is really cool to see that and see like the drum getting heated up. And I was really and now the cooling tray, I think that's one unique thing about Primo is the cooling tray and how it has a unique design with it, but it has so much power. And it has from my understanding, Christian, correct me if I'm wrong, but you do have a secondary motor for the cooling tray as well as a motor for the drum. Is that correct?
So you can roast both simultaneously, and then we oversize all of our cooler blower motors. That would be why. I mean, they cool down coffee extremely quick. We want to make sure you have enough time to cool down your batch, get the entire batch out of your cooling tray, and make sure you're ready to go to roast continuously.
I was going to say,
yeah,
feels
and
like
I think
a
that's
vacuum.
probably like one of the.
Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would have to say that's definitely one of the unique things about Primo that really stands out is that there's a lot of thought and a lot of ingenuity when it comes to building a roaster, and that you guys really think about the roaster in mind, like the individual roasters ourselves. is that, there's multiple batches that need to be done. We need something that's going to be effective and cool down, a machine that's going to be effective with heating the drum, so that way we can get our production start with that. And that is definitely very thorough. And those are the things that really jumped out with me with Primo. And as Brendan was explaining all these, and especially the two different temperature settings, the set 1 and set 2, I thought that was really, really awesome. And I just remember calling Tim, and I said, Tim, you got to get this machine, brother. This is a great machine. And, it has been wrong because, Tim and I have both won roasting competition awards for Golden Bean North America. I just recently got 3rd place in People's Choice Award at the Hasina Coffee Source Roasting Competition. Thank you. Shout out to Hasina. It was a great competition. And we're really excited to really get our coffee into Golden Bean for 2024, this upcoming year. The coffee, I have to say, Christian, has been nothing but spectacular. It definitely has changed the way that Tim and I have approached our roasting because of the consistency of it. And what I mean by consistency is that every time we roast a batch of coffee, you don't see any scorching. The coffee's always coming out evenly, and it is drawing out a lot of the body and the acidity out. And I feel like there's, with Primo, like it's a machine that's built for champions. Honestly, I really feel I'm serious, because there's yes, no, for real, because like you said, with that infrared burner and having that dual motor with the Primo machines, that not only can you stop the roasting process and cool it down immediately, which really allows us as roasters to gauge exactly what profile that we're getting with the coffee, and to be able to stop the cooking process. So now the set point 1 and the set point 2. Now, I needed to ask you if you can give more clarity about that, Christian, because there's not a whole lot of roasting manufacturers that do that. And I can you explain the advantages of these different set points and set point 2? What is it? What's the advantage of it? And how can it benefit roasters out there?
So we've actually, now with the newer models, we've actually gone away from the set point 1, set point 2. There's still a way on the new Primo machines to exactly mimic and replicate what people were doing on their old Primo machines. We offer the roaster trade-in program, so I've had a ton of roasters with older Primo models that have contacted us that want to get into the newer models with newer technology and don't want to compromise their current profiles and things like that. So you're able to perfectly match it. But essentially, what that old design was with temp 1, temp 2 was they were set points, is what they were, right? So temp 1 is your first set point, temp 2 is your second. And those also acted as a basically semi-automated controller, right? Kind of almost eliminating certain variables from the roaster to keep the exact consistency, right? So all it actually did is a high fire and a low fire. So your high fire, which would be up to temperature 1, would be a gas valve opened up to 100%. And when you'd enter temp 2, it's actually a low fire mode, right? So you're entering low fire stage, and that's 40% on the gas valve. So it's just kind of eliminating the gas pressure going into the burner, slowing down the roast, prolonging that development time, and doing it at a very even consistent rate, where the roaster doesn't actually have to do anything. It does it automatically. So the old systems were essentially semi-automated, and that's why you guys love it. And so on the new system now, what you can do is go on the controller. You can access the gas valve from the controller. You can see it from a 0 to 100% basis. And what you would do is you would put your set point to your current your set point 2 temperature, right? So your final end temp. And what you would do is you would open the valve up 100%, and then when you get to that temp 1 setting, you would then close down to 40%. And that's the way to, exactly replicate whatever anyone was doing on an old Primo machine. But yeah, essentially it was semi-automated machines is what what we had available for years and years and years. One of the biggest reasons why we've um, now kind of left that market Primo is just everyone wants the customizability, the user ability to really go in and manipulate and change things and yada yada yada. But don't fear. We kept all Primo users in account, and we can exactly mimic what you were doing before on the old machines with the new machinery. It's just slightly different.
Like I said, it sounds like an upgrade's coming. It does. It sounds like an upgrade's coming.
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
We changed the design on the 30 kilo cooler as well, and it looks cooler now, in my opinion. So everyone loved it how it used to be. It was a long rectangle, but now the cooler's even cooler, and good designs coming out.
Not redundant at all. Not at all. Oh man.
No. It's the cooler.
It is the cooler, but that's another one of those. A roaster for champions, and it's the cooler. That's great. No, we don't get a lot of that advertising gear here. Oh man. Well, I gotta ask you, Christian. I know a great deal about you and Brandon and the fact that you are both big surfers, and I know that you personally have come from Oahu and spent a lot of time in Hawaii growing up, being you, and doing some surfing. So, what do you think translates between surfing and building coffee roasters? How's that for a question? Yeah.
Anything, man. To be honest with you, maybe the relentlessness to keep going and to not give up. It's not been the easiest road, but we're making it happen, and definitely on the forefront of where Primo needs to be and where Primo's going. But yeah, that's a tough one. I guess just taking beatings,
that has been known to happen.
Prepared and ready for what you're going to endure in the manufacturing space. What people don't see behind the scenes. Primo, we are a small team, but got a great group of guys, and we all put our heads together and buckle down and get what we got to get done. But a lot of people don't see the behind the scenes, and that there's 1,000 parts and components that goes into these machines, and we make everything in house from start to finish. So it's definitely a process, and there's definitely procedures in line now, but that wasn't always the case. And it definitely, that'd be the only comparison I can make. It's definitely gotten both Brandon and myself prepped for something like this potentially.
No, you mentioned something I admire more than I can tell you, and that's creating everything on site and on demand. I tell you, I think that's really groundbreaking. It's something a lot of people don't have. Personally, I think that's amazing. It kind of leads me to the question about what kind of lead time you need to be able to fulfill an order when people order a machine from you.
So between us, I guess, and all the listeners that are going to tune in, right now we have I would say one of the shortest lead times in the industry. Right now I kind of have units pretty much in stock, ready to ship. That is our end goal. I'd say we're a few months from that, but I'm talking machine is seasoned, in a crate, ready to go. If you're on the East Coast in Florida, get to you in 5 to 6 days. Wow. If you're where you're at, get to you in 2 to 3.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So we're trying to have units pretty much ready to ship at this exact time. We'll be running a Labor Day special this upcoming week. I have every unit in stock, but since I have orders to fulfill, I got about a 4 to 6 week timeline. And then in about 3 months' time, I'll have everything in stock, crated type of deal, and pretty much ready to ship. So
that's amazing.
We're eliminating
that's crazy.
The lead time.
That's crazy. You know, we
Yeah,
we we
lots
hear
changed, man. Lots changed. We
eh,
used to we used to have a 12 to 16 week lead time at one point. So
that's that's unbelievable. It just you know, when I first started looking at roasters, everybody else was talking about 4 to 6 months in delivery time. Like you couldn't get a machine
mhm. I've
unless you had
heard right now in the industry 6 to 18 months.
wow,
6 to
wow,
18 months right now is a lot of lead times from
and
what I'm hearing.
and you're
So
created and ready to ship pretty much.
I'm
That's
not sure.
oh my god, that's
Pretty much. Yep.
wow. Um, sorry, that just blows my mind.
We've just been turning gears over here.
Yeah, yeah, no, it sounds good. Well,
Yeah,
tell
we've
me
just
about
been
some
turning
tech.
gears, man.
Tell me
We've
about
been
the
pedal to the metal.
yeah. Are you able to talk about the rumor about you producing your own controlling software?
Yeah. So I mean, we're in the process of getting it figured out right now. But in 2025, we plan to release fully automated machines with our own proprietary software, where you're going to be able to go in and follow your roast curve and have full control over the machine and all the variables that come into play while you're roasting. And yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
nothing too crazy yet. We'll have drawings and images and stuff come out as soon as we have it available, but we're in the works of it and we're working through some of the kinks right now. And yeah, fully automated machines coming 2025 for large production plants, things like that.
That is
Christian, I had a question. So you know, I think that the lead times are fantastic. It's so amazing how you have all these roasters like ready to go. Someone calls and says, "Hey, Christian, I need a roaster." You're like, "I got you. We'll ship it out." Your lead times are fabulous compared to what we're hearing from other manufacturers as well. Um, I'm not trying to draw comparisons, but
Feel
I
free.
would like to hear from for those who are kind of on the fence of like, well, this Primo sounds great and all, but I'm looking at either a San Franciscan or a Loring or a Diedrich, right? And
Mhm.
I am, and for those who are kind of on the fence or not sure, can you kind of tell us what, with all the roasting manufacturers, what makes Primo a really unique experience, and what is it about the Primo machine that makes it so amazing compared to the what is currently out there with the other major brands of coffee roasting manufacturers? What makes Primo
Yeah, yeah,
unique in that perspective?
absolutely. Well, I think for starters, and I don't want to toot our own horn too much here, but I think for starters, and hopefully Tim can uh, count to that, maybe you as well, Carrie. But I think our customer service speaks for itself. I think working with us, since we are a small team, is a joy for majority of people. It's a lot more relaxed and laid back, and you don't feel like that piece of paper where you're signing your name is got some sort of grip on you or something like that. It's very enjoyable experience, and that's what we want it to be. We want it to be an enjoyable experience. We want you to know and understand that you're investing in a piece of machinery and investing in us, and we want this piece of machinery to make you a lot of money at the end of the day. That's our goal. We want our customers to excel, for their businesses to grow, and for them to continue to make more money. So I mean that's why we do so many things like the roaster trade-in program and other just incentives and incentivizing our customers and even new customers coming into Primo, just to help empower them, because we know how difficult not only the economy is right now, but just we're in difficult times, and it's hard to get a loan and to put that money out on equipment. So we do what we can. As far as like production timelines, things like that, people being worried, looking at other manufacturers. In the past year, to be honest, I've gotten a lot of people from some of the other brands. They've done like roasting classes and training courses with other brands, and then have talked to me. And the number one thing I recommend, which is the same thing you guys did, And I always encourage it. If you're on the fence, before you put your pen to that paper, fly down to Southern California, come to our facility, come check it out. I'll spend 4 hours with you. We'll roast. I'll show you the machinery, show you everything that we have going on in the shop. We literally make the machines from scratch right in front of your eyes. And that's the best way to do it, in my opinion. You get a full hands-on learning experience. It's not going to cost you anything. I'm not going to charge you for it. I'm going to do it out of the goodness of my heart. Come down. If you choose us, fantastic. If you don't, no worries. I'm not worried about it. At the end of the day, I just want people to know what Primo's about and where we're going and what we're doing. And, they're quality machines, but we don't have, necessarily the budget or the manpower or employee power, you could call it, of some of these other larger manufacturers as well. Some of these guys have been in the game over 100 years. We've only been around 34, I believe it is, but Brand and I have only been involved in this going on 5 years. We've changed a lot, made a lot happen, so be on the lookout. Brand and I don't plan on going anywhere, and we plan on, making an impact and a dent in this industry, and I believe we've done that so far, and we're going to continue to do that and just progress and make sure everything is top notch. But I think customer service, laid back, relaxed time, some of the big incentives at Primo. And it's a phenomenal machine at the end of the day. It roasts great product. You guys can attest to that. You guys win medals and things all the time. Seems year in and year out since you guys got the machine. You guys have been killing it. The integrity of the machines is fantastic. It's just getting better. Our prices are better. We just got incentives all the way across the board. If your biggest question mark is, I just don't know them, I've never heard of them, give us a call, fly down to Southern California, make a trip out of it, write it off, and I'll show you the machinery and show you what's going on.
Well, I've got to say, the customer service is unparalleled. And we've been through, a number of different situations and a number of different pieces of equipment that we've had at our roastery. And to be honest with you, the most dependable thing in this world is being able to contact you, getting a quick response. And personally and professionally, I appreciate that from you more than I can say. So you guys have always been top
Absolutely,
notch.
man.
Always. Well,
thank you.
So many questions I could ask, but we get a little technical here, and we want to make sure we're keeping it friendly for the people who are on the fence or talking about home roasting. I think I'd like to make a statement and ask you a little bit about that. I know that we have a 20K machine. I know that we actually have measured 140 completed pounds coming out of the machine in an hour, which is pretty remarkable. Why don't we talk a little bit about that 3K machine, to talk a little bit about entry level. People were thinking of just getting in 3 and 5K. First of all, I love that size. Yeah.
So to be honest with you, Tim, the size is phenomenal. Great entry level machine. To be honest, anything below those numbers, you're a hobbyist. To be honest with you, I'm sure you're aware of that just as much as me, but it's very hard to actually generate income and make money on a machine smaller than 3 kilos. To be honest, I don't even recommend a 3 kilo. My personal belief, I'm here at the end of the day. Everyone's making a business. Okay, fantastic. You want to make great coffee. That is amazing. You need to do that. But you also need to make money. You need to support your family. You need to support, your life, everything that's going on. And, that's why we made the 3 kg and the 5 kg so close in price. It's only a $1,500 difference. You're getting double the production output from the 3 to the 5 kg for $1,500. I always, push everyone to go to a 5 kg, not for the upsale, but just for the fact of the matter. If you look at it from a practical standpoint, you're roasting half the amount of time for the same amount of product you'd be doing on the 3 kilo, which is more time you can spend on your business, more time marketing, more time networking, more time at the farmer's market, more time on your computer, running ads or doing whatever it is that you need to do. And it just makes more sense,
Yeah, I was going to say that there is another local roaster that I know, and Tim kind of knows him anyway. And he, unfortunately, he doesn't own a Primo, but I'm not going to say who it is. But that it was the same scenario where this individual got it was a 5 kilogram roaster, and they were roasting on it. And when they were buying the machine brand new from the manufacturer, the salesperson said, "Hey, if you're planning to do X amount of batches, or if you are going to grow, we suggest you move up to the next size, whether it's at least like a 15 or 12 kilogram roaster, because if you're going to be doing this full time, that's the size you're gonna need, because your business is going to take off." And this individual is like, no, I'm going to stay with this size. I'm comfortable with it. I don't want to pay the extra money. Sure enough, 6 months later, this person's business took off, and they realized they needed to buy a bigger machine. So I tell people, I say, listen, the coffee roasting manufacturers are not trying to upsell you. They are being honest with you, especially if you're going to be doing this full time, whether it is from Primo or whoever else that you are buying your equipment. If you are planning to do this business full time, you need to think about getting the next size up, because your business is going to take off. You are going to be roasting more volume. And that, I can attest to that. That seriously is the honest truth. So for those who are looking into roasting full time, like you say, Christian, is that, 3K, that's something more on the hobbyist, maybe really, really small scale. But, at least
five is as small as you want to go, to be honest.
5? Oh,
Unless
5.
you have
Okay.
a lab roaster.
Yeah.
That's why we made the price so close. I mean, you can go bigger than a 5, absolutely, and make way more money.
Yeah.
But 5 is like the bottom of the barrel if you want to actually make money, and you can. Brandon and I started our coffee company originally when we got in this journey with a 5 kg. Ended up upgrading into a 30.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if the budget doesn't allow you to get the next size up, I mean, sure, and that's totally understandable. But
that's
if
why
you have the budget to move up, yeah, definitely.
That no one else does, and it's just another incentive for people to roast Primo. Is say you do go for even the 3 kg, and to be honest, I've sold a handful of 3 kgs, and I've sold a ton of 5 kgs. And the reason for that is I talk around the same thing. You spend $1,500 more, it's half the amount of time you're going to roast. So $1,500 is worth it, I promise. So everyone's getting the 5 kg for the most part, but we have the trade-in program. So, say you want to get a 5 kg and rock it for 2 years, and then you can call me and say, "Hey, Christian, my business is finally where it needs to be. I'm ready to hop in that 20 kilo. I'll practically give you what you paid for your machine. Let's start you on a 20 kilo. Something you can afford that's not going to break the bank and put you in a pinch, something you can be comfortable with. And then you can start making more money. And then hopefully, the end goal, depending on how far people want to take it, is they call me back one day and they say, "Hey, Christian, I need 330 kilos, or I need this, or I need that, or hey, I want a 70 kilo. I'm supplying Walmart now in this, or, whatever it is." People understand this is a massive industry. And, once your business starts taking off in this industry, it can really, really take off, and unfortunately, I mean, you got to roast the product, right? So it's always better to go a little bit bigger.
The irony of that is I still own a 5K machine sitting in my garage that hasn't started in 5 years, because I'm already past that. It only took me 18 months to outgrow it. That's the thing. I think one of the consistent.
That's what
Go
I
ahead.
mean. Year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No. Just touching back with what you said. 18 months you outgrow a 5 kilo. That's typically what it is. I mean, people, and every manufacturer has a crazy price jump from the 5 kg. To be honest with you, and the reason for that is we all know that you're making 5 times the amount of money on a larger machine than you are on one of those baby machines. You know, the 5 kilos putting out 40 pounds of roasted coffee an hour. On your machine, you're putting out 145. You know, you're putting out 105 more.
It's a huge difference.
Substantially a larger amount of money and less time roasting, you know. But and the price tag comes with that. But you know, I mean, that's why we have the trade-in program. I don't want to ever pressure someone into something they don't want to do or something they're not fully comfortable with, you know, or they think they can handle. And the 5 kg machine, I mean, great option, you know, phenomenal machine. We're selling more of those than any other machine right now. But, you know, it's in hopes that, you know, you get a 5 kilo and you need to upgrade. And when you need to upgrade, you can give us a call and we'll make sure you're taken care of.
I'll attest to that as well, for sure. Well, what do you think, Christian? You want to tell people how they can get a hold of you and see the stuff? Give us a little info about your website and email addresses, please.
Yeah, so you can give us a call at 1-800-675-0160. And yeah, you'll be talking to most likely me, you know, and you'll talk to me in person in America. No Indian tech support or anything like that going on here. So, you know, give us a call if you have any questions or need anything. If you want to answer right away, it's Monday through Friday. If you want to reach out to me via email, obviously just my name, Christian, CHRISTIAN @primoroasting.com. Check us out on Instagram @roastingequipment, website primoroasting.com. But we are running a great Labor Day special this upcoming week from September 2nd to the 6th. Instant cash savings as well as amazing finance rates and specials going on that week. So yeah, if you're in the market for a roaster or just want to learn more about Primo and what we have going on, definitely reach out and give me a call, and we'd love to chat.
I'd also like to make sure that people know that they can come and see a 20K in action at our roastery. If you happen to be in the Pacific Northwest, we'd love to show you what Oscar can do. Oscar's a great machine. It's a great machine. You know,
absolutely.
And I also wanted to say too that if you're hearing about the awesomeness of Primo machines and you're hearing it on the podcast, please let Christian know that you heard about this through the podcast. So give us some love here, and let them know that you heard the good stuff from this episode.
Yep, we love people who subscribe. Please
appreciate you guys having me. Appreciate everything you guys are doing.
No, right back at you, Christian. Thank you. Well, say a quick thank you to Primo Roasting Equipment for being a sponsor. We love you guys. Thank you. Also say thank you to Kool-Aid Coffee. Also want to say thank you to Seattle Coffee Automation. Thank you very much. And for the rest of you, thank you very much for listening. We appreciate your time. Give us a like, do a subscribe. You know where we are. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Christian, for jumping on. It was great to have you finally on the podcast talking about Primo, talking about roasters, and we'd love to have you back on as you get going with the software program, and love to hear new projects and updates that are going on with the machines, with the new bottles that are coming out, and we'd love to have you back on, and maybe we can answer some technical mechanical questions when it comes to roasters. I think that'd be a fabulous idea for an episode maybe in the future.
I agree.
Absolutely. Definitely open to that. We can make that happen. If you guys got my number, just give me a call or send me the invite link and I'll sign up.
Awesome.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Well, thank you everybody for listening to the Drop Temp Coffee Podcast. Again, if you haven't subscribed, you should, as you can hear more awesome shows like us. And make sure you give us a follow on YouTube as well as our Instagram page. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Right on. Later, guys.